Hi guys, I'm back. Yes, different shirt. Same face though. I know I had said in the last video I'll be right back. And I promise you, I did come right back. And I actually did do a video recording. The phone actually turned off right after I had finished that recording. And at that moment, I realized that the message that I had delivered on the second piece was not something that the Lord had approved of, or there was something off about it. So I took a couple of days to kind of think through what I needed to say. But in the meantime, as you can hear, I have not been doing very well either. So it's been a challenging time for me to try and keep myself in a place where, no, I'm lying. I was not in a good space. Let's just put it that way. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you and say I was calm and cool and collected and everything worked exactly as I wanted it to. No, it was chaos, internal chaos.
The recipes, views, and opinions expressed in this channel are solely those of the speaker. They do not reflect, collaborate, or substitute the views and opinions of a medical health professional. Please consult a professional with any dietary concerns and inquiries prior to trying the recipes. Welcome to the channel.
I eventually did get my blood test and they came out clean, normal, actually optimal. And I literally went line by line. I think I'd become a lab tech and Googling and making sure that the levels that are being indicated are actually optimal. And they can't see anything, right? It's not to say that I don't trust the providers, but I wanted to make sure, because it doesn't make sense. I'm not feeling well. So something in the test should have indicated something, and it's coming up normal. The other thing is my vitals as well. I'm hot. I feel like I am in a dry sauna and just sitting there toasting. But when they take my temp, it's normal. My throat, this raspiness you're hearing, they're checking it and saying there's nothing wrong. So you can imagine the kind of symptomatic gaslighting, if that's the best way to put it, that I have been in, because I'm like, I'm not crazy. I know I'm not feeling well. I'm not sleeping well. My headaches are crazy. My head pressure is off. My ears are ringing. My body is hot. And you're telling me all this is fine? Nah, I was in chaos. That's the best way to put it. Now, because my source of guidance and inspiration leans on God and Jesus in everything that I do, I have a place I can go to, a place where I can sit and have a moment with God. Usually, that's like at 2, 3 in the morning when people are asleep. Weirdly enough, for some reason, I tend to wake up around that time. It's a very weird wake up. I can't really explain it. But it just feels like my body, it feels like opening up the curtains. It's pretty much kind of how it feels. It's like this thing that happens in my head at 3 in the morning. And that's usually the time I'm having conversations with Jesus and I'm having conversations with God. What does that look like? It's a conversation like talking to a good friend. Not only a good friend, but a counselor, a mentor, somebody who can, listen to you. And while he's not answering, because, most people would think you're crazy having that conversation by yourself. He's not answering, and you don't get the answers right there and then. It's more in terms, it's literally like going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You're going there, you're talking about what's going on, and then you'll start hearing questions in your head. It's a very weird process, but that's what happens to me. I don't know what everybody happens, but questions will pop out of nowhere. Sometimes you won't hear a question. And so the first thing I did was remember that I do have a place to go. So for me, my psychologist, so to speak, or my psychiatrist, it tends to be God and Jesus first. And then, of course, if you do have a church community, there is leaders and elders and all that. And I also do believe in the medical aspects of things, so I don't shortchange that. But when it comes to matters of my heart, and when it comes to me being able to speak to somebody, God is the first place that I go to. So the first part of the Bible, especially when things are going crazy, you'll see me going down because I have notes. Philippians talks about not being anxious and coming to God in supplication and thanksgiving and putting forth your request. So it's not going to be, and I'm going to say I'm guilty of going to God and be like, look at how things are going, and I can't explain why this is happening. Why is it happening? Why don't I feel you? It's not why you're not here, but why don't I feel you? Why are you next to me? I have those moments, but in this particular incident, I had to come to him and say, okay, God, I have run around like my head has been cut off and I have zero answers. The next step was I needed to die in the flesh. So in the Bible, Galatians chapter 2:20 and also Luke 9:23 talk about dying in the flesh. Once we as Christians have declared that we believe in God, we believe in Jesus and his salvation of us, and commit to him, we now are no longer authors of our life, and everything that happens in our life is divinely ordered, right? So nothing in my life happens to me, it happens for me. So anything that's challenging, anything that's unfair, anything that's exhausting, anything that I don't want to deal with, all those are tools and aspects, or at least scenarios that have been built to help me be a better version of myself. If you've watched the movie The Matrix, that's pretty much kind of what it is. I had to understand that what's happening is not me or the vaccine or the environment. It's divinely ordered for me to get to a place. Now, what's that place? No idea. But the first thing is to be able to center myself. So dying in the flesh means I have to put my emotions in check. I have to ignore the voices in my head. I have to keep doing the things I need to do every day in order for me to be able to get to what needs to be revealed. So it's a systematic, shut it down, do what you know, do the next right thing, and then the answers will come. The third principle is related to worry and concern about things you have zero control over. We talk about it all the time in life, right? We always say if you have zero control over it and you can't make any changes to it, what's the point, right? Yeah, it's in the Bible, right? In Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, Jesus talks about worrying about tomorrow. And he says, do not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. Today has enough things to be worried about. Same principle, same words. Don't worry, have zero control over it. So my worry about, oh my God, it could be this, or oh my God, could it be this? Oh my God, what's going on with my body? That needed to die. Is it easy? No. Is it easy for me? No. And every time I would have a thought that would run rampant, I'd have to confess to not aligning and being obedient to the word. So there's a level of discipline you have to be able to say, I'm not going to worry about this. The answer will come. So the fourth step, is tied to Psalms 46 verse 10, and it talks about be still and know that I am God. Because I believe that God is the author of my life and he knows what my life is going to be before I even know what it is, I had to be still. It had to be written. And the only way you get to stillness is if you've calmed yourself down, if you've killed your emotions, if you have put the prayer out there, and you have basically come to a place of, okay, let's go, right? That's pretty much kind of what it looks like. There's no way you get to being still unless you have taken care of all these other things that are taking place. So emotional, environmental, anything that would exacerbate you needs to be calmed down. So Buddhist, the meditation, think about it as it's a form of meditation in a way, but it is tied to meditation. You stay calm, right? Any thought that comes through your head, let it ride, right? It's going to be there, but let it ride. Don't react to it. Don't put any energy to it. Relax. That's pretty much kind of where you're going with this step. This is where I was with this step. So the fifth step is the answer. So from the time I was going chaotic to the time I actually got my answer, we're talking about a good week and a half. And that answer came in my 3 a.m. conversations with God. And the answer was the story of Moses. When Moses was told to go to Pharaoh. If anybody has read the story of Moses, he was not that confident of a guy, didn't really want the task, just was like, yo, man, I can't. It's Pharaoh, right? And God, in that, there is a specific verse in Exodus, I believe it's Exodus chapter 4, verse 2, where God says, what is that you have in your hand? And he said it was a staff, and he said, throw it on the ground, and it turned into a snake. And then he picked up the snake and he turned back into a staff. That staff is a symbol. It's a symbol of your connection, of the connection I have between, it's an axis. The best way to put it is like it's a connection between me and God, right? And that connection is in my hands. I have it in my hands, if that makes sense. If I have it in my hand, then I need to tap into it in order to connect to God. Does that make sense? I need to tap into what I have in my hand in order to connect to God. So what does that look like for me? What that looks like for me is, okay, we went through the physical, nothing worked there. We went through the physical food check, everything is good. We went through the medical checks, everything was checked, everything came out normal. Okay, so now what? What do I have? What am I equipped with? What knowledge do I have? What gifts do I have? What resourcefulness do I have? Yeah? And in doing so, all I heard was natural doctor. That's all I heard was natural doctor. And I forgot the power of nature. If you know anything about nature, it's like the number one doctor that ever existed before science came along. What medical people, or at least how I view science, is it gives you the why. It may tell you the what. It will experiment with the how. But it has never really fully got the how. However, nature has it all put together. So, my process was this. What's happening in my body? I am experiencing head, because everything is up here other than the hot fever that I'm feeling in my body. It's not fever, but heat that I'm feeling in my body, but everything is head up. So there's something going on in my head. Don't know what it is, not sure exactly what it is. I don't have any discharge, so there's nothing visible. It's in here, right? Clearly there's some inflammation taking place in my head to cause me to have the headaches, the pressure headaches, and the ear pressure that I'm feeling. So something is swollen, something is irritated in my head. So in order for me to get it to calm down, right? If something is hot, where do you put it? You put it in somewhere cold. Like my body right now is sitting in front of an air conditioner. So if I want to have things calm down, then I need to put it in a cold place, which means, or what that looks like on a chemistry level, it means getting on an alkaline diet, because that's what I have control over. I have no control about the inflammation that's taking place, but I can definitely control what's going on in my body. So it meant going into a vegan state of things, eating live plants. It's not the most delicious thing. I can tell you right now, it's not. Usually when I go through the process of actually eating vegetables, it's during my detoxing process, which I try to do at least once every 6 months. However, it's not exciting. But the live plants breathe life into the body. It will breathe life into you. I had my answer. I had what's in my stack. So I went in, started Googling what's the best foods to be eating. It's fruits and salads, coconut water, a ton of coconut water. I've been drinking coconut water like nobody's business. And then once in a while, I'll have the lime juice with water. Not the lime, yeah, lime juice from the lime with spring water. That's my diet. That's all I'm doing. I really apologize for my voice, but I want to make sure this video goes out real time so that you guys can see what's going on. But it's official. I do have an ear infection and I do have some swollen glands in my throat, even though it doesn't feel like I have a sore throat. So my doctor has prescribed antibiotics. So I'll be on antibiotics for the next 10 days. What I find interesting, and this is how God works, right? So it's reflection time, right? And the things that I've explained to you, those steps in the moment did not make sense to me. In the moment, they did not make sense to me. I am a very action-oriented, solve the problem type of person, especially when it comes to me and what's going on with me. But in the moment, it seemed like God needed me to run out of steam, which is exactly what happened. I ran out of steam and sit myself down and not only surrender, but obey. And I believe if I had not done so, the symptoms that I have been battling for this 1 month could still be here and possibly doing even more damage because I refused to heed to the wisdom. I think more importantly was the idea of self-care. I need you to take care of this temple and the spirit that resides in it. And the only way you're going to do that is if you calm down. I also believe that the body has a natural way of rejecting and removing things out of the body if you feed it clean things. If you feed it clean things, it's going to start to expunge everything that is not supposed to be there. Because the other doctor looked in my ear and thought it was a past infection, like something old. And this doctor looks at it and goes, you have an infection. How? In a week? How did that happen? How did something that looked in the past now become, no, it is present. It's right here. I don't want to, these are qualified people. They've studied through this. One doctor has an opinion. And I don't think it was just them, because the fact that I had seen 3 doctors before I got to my doc, 3 doctors, it needed to come to the surface. And I believe the food that I was eating helped. The fact that I stayed calm, the fact that I surrendered and had faith, God directed me to where I needed to be. And I ended up in the doctor's office, the same place that told me I don't have anything going on. And that is the tale of my first COVID shot. I am truly grateful for this journey. It has solidified some things for me, and I can't wait to see what the next journey is going to look like. But hopefully you guys have understood that you do need to stay calm, have faith, take consistent action, trust that you have the tools to do so, and eventually the universe, God himself, Jesus, will reveal it to you. However you want to look at that, that's okay. Either way, it's still the same principles. It will reveal itself to you. So stay tuned for the next ones, because I will definitely be showing the things that I have been doing to manage the symptoms. So there's some videos coming there, and also how I was managing a big emotion, fear. Otherwise, until the next time, breathe life into each other, because we need it. I'll see you soon. And that is the end of the video, guys. I really do appreciate you guys sticking to the very end of the video. The goal of these videos is to be as informative and as transparent as possible. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. If you are interested in any of the recipes that I have going on, please do check out my website. Also follow me on my social media, because I do post most of my day-to-day meals there as well. I'm hoping, once again, this is going to be informational for you guys, and your body is your temple. So how you take care of it is how it will manifest and actually produce for you. So keep strong, keep healthy, and as always, stay blessed. We will see you on the next video.